Hi folks, and welcome back to Meaningful Money. Okay, still here on Marizine Beach, still freezing. Last one from here, I think, for a bit. But I wanted to cover some changes to the pensions rules, which are being mooted. These changes were announced back on the 9th of December, so I'm about sort of 7 weeks late talking about these, really. But I kind of took December off. Hope you don't mind. I shall try to be more prompt with these sort of current affairs type videos. So these changes were announced on the 9th of December, and they are proposals for the Finance Bill 2011. And they are proposed changes to how you take your income from your pension fund. And so they're pretty important. Now, the big sort of headline issue, if you like, is the removal of the requirement to buy an annuity at age 75. Look back to the videos on annuities and income drawdown. Can't remember the numbers, but I shall put links to them here, sort of over here somewhere. Yeah. Look back to those to explain how annuities work and how income drawdown works. But then come back to this one perhaps and find out what the changes are. When you buy an annuity, you hand over your amassed pension pot to an insurance company, and they give you a guaranteed income for life. And it used to be the case, still is the case right now, but it's has always been the case that you had to do that by age 75. There was a sort of slight exception to that. You could go into something called alternatively secured pension, which there's also a video on, but not many people did that for various reasons, not least punitive tax regime. But now you're not going to have to even what we call crystallize your pension. You can keep your pension fund as it is for the rest of your life if necessary. And you don't any longer have to crystallize it, turn it into an income of some kind at age 75. So that's a big deal. That sort of rule, which meant you had to crystallize, also meant that you had to take your tax-free cash out of your pension before or on age 75, and you couldn't do so after age 75. So again, you're going to be able to take your tax-free cash after age 75, probably from April this year. So that's the first thing to say. Now, the biggest changes, I think, are in income drawdown, or what is more accurately called unsecured pension. You may remember, if you look back at the video, you keep hold of your fund in drawdown. You still have it, it remains invested, and what you do is you draw off it every month or every year, a little bit like going to the cash machine and drawing your own money out. Again, there's a lot more detail as to how that works currently in the video. I'll put the link up again, up here. But now there's some changes, and you're going to be able to take income in two kinds. The first is called capped income. Now, how does that work? Well, you may remember that before you could take income from your drawdown plan between two limits. And those limits were 0, so you could take no income if you wanted, and 120% of something called GAD. Okay, so GAD is a limit applied by the government, and you could take between 0% of that and 120% of that. Right? The GAD limit is designed to be roughly what you would get from buying an annuity. So that's going to change. It's not longer going to be between 0 and 120. Under capped income, it's going to be between 0 and 100% of GAD. So you're not going to be able to take out more than you would under a conventional annuity. The other change that they're doing is they're shifting back to 3 yearly reviews rather than the current system, which is 5 yearly. At those reviews, what happens is the size of the fund is assessed, and with other factors, including your gender and your age, new limits are set every 5 years currently, but that's going to be back to every 3 years. Now, that's capped income. The alternative way you're going to be able to take an income from your drawdown plan is going to be called flexible income. Now, you can take this from age 55, like normal, but the government are going to allow you to take flexible income on one condition, and that is that you can satisfy their minimum income requirement. And I'll come back to that in a minute. But the key thing about flexible income is that there's going to be no upper limit at all. So instead of 0 to 120% of GAD or 0 to 100% of GAD, there's going to be no limit at all. So you can, I suppose, in theory, take your entire pension fund out in 1 year. You'd be taxed to hell and back, probably, but you can. There's going to be no upper limit, which is a big deal. But you have to satisfy this minimum income requirement. Now, what does that mean? Well, what they're saying is, the principle here is that the government doesn't want you to take out all your pension fund, blow it on a fantastic cruise or a big party, and then be dependent on state benefits. So what they want you to do in order to be able to take out the advantage of this flexible income and this no sort of cap, this no limit income, they want you to have secured £20,000 per year of income from your pensions. So that means from your state pension, from an annuity, from maybe a scheme pension from your company, that as long as you have from those sources £20,000 per year of secured income, you can do pretty much what you want with your unsecured pension, which is your drawdown. Now these limits, that 20,000 limit is going to be reviewed, I think, every 5 years, but that's going to be quite a useful planning tool, particularly for us as advisors, I think, for clients with larger pension funds, as you can imagine. A couple of other things changing. The death benefits. Currently, if you are before retirement, so you haven't crystallized your pension yet, taken an annuity or gone into drawdown, there is no tax on death. That continues. That's going to be the same. But if you're in drawdown, currently there is a tax charge of 35%. It's a special rate of income tax. So if you die when you're in drawdown, your beneficiaries can have your fund, but they'll pay 35% tax on it. If you die currently after age 75 and you're in alternatively secured pension, the tax is even more punitive, 81, 82%. But now it's going to be a flat rate of 55%. So it's better if you're in alternatively secured pension, but it's a lot worse if you're in drawdown. Now you're going to have a charge of 55% as against 35%. And final changes which are happening, I think, which for the purposes of this, are the allowances. There is currently a lifetime allowance. That's the maximum your pension fund can be, roughly, in your whole life. That's been going up sort of every year, and is currently at 1.8 million. That's going to be pushed back down to 1.5 million. I'm sure won't affect many people watching these videos. But a big change is the annual allowance. Currently, you can put £255,000 into your pension in any 1 year. That's going to go down to a mere 50,000. So apologies if you're a big pension contributor. I'm afraid you're going to be capped at 50 grand a year pension contribution. Again, they reckon that's going to affect 100,000 people in the whole country. Probably quite a few of those MPs, perhaps. So those are some pension changes. A quick summary. Leave any questions or comments underneath the video here on either YouTube, Facebook, or on the website itself, and I'll do my best to answer them. Hope that's helpful. So no idea where we're going next. I'll think about that before next time, obviously, but from Marizine Beach, once again, thank you very much for watching.